Hello, my name is Alfred Smith, and I'm the creator of BaastBook, a social media platform that is named after the Panther goddess Bast of ancient Kemet. If you don't know what Kemet is the name that the people of Egypt called it. Egypt is the Greek name, but the people that lived in Egypt referred to it as Kemet. Um, Bast is most people would consider Bass to be a domesticated house cat. That is because later in time, the Egyptians or the Kemetic people began to represent Bast as a domesticated house cat. Um, but before that, she was represented as a lion, and the taxonomic name for lion is Panthera leo. And I think most of the big cats, if not all of them, are in the family or the genus rather, Panthera. The jaguar, the leopard, lion, tigers, and no, not bears. But this is the website here, and as I said, it's baastbook.com. We spell it Baast, and there's a lot of ways you can spell it, but the reason why I chose that method is because it's unique. And plus, when I was looking for a name, there are lots of websites with Bast, Bast. You have Baset, and you have Bastet. So I just like Baast for Bast or Bast. Some people say Bast. I'm country. I'm from Mississippi, and we say Bast. But as I said, this is the website, and here's the logo here. And BaastBook is a website dedicated to what I refer to creating noble souls. And I'm going to get into detail more about that later. What is a noble soul and why I use Bast to represent that. Here we have the logo for BaastBook, and it was designed by my daughter, and her name is Kemet. We call her Keme also for short, but it's Kemet. And you can pronounce the et as a as in ballet, or you can just pronounce it as et. So either way is correct. We call her Kame, but sometimes I call her Kemet. Both are correct. So this logo was I told her what I wanted, and I told her I wanted like a yin yang bass logo, and this is what she came up with. She came up with a very beautiful design. And here we have Bast, and Bast is the Black Panther cat, and then we have Alabast, which is the White Panther cat. And there is a distinction between Alabast and Bast, and I'll get into that perhaps on another video, maybe in this video. But for right now, I'm gonna focus on Bast and what she represents. But Alabast also has a purpose as well. So as you can see, it says community, Yoniversity, and what's Yoniversity? Yoniversity is another way of saying the universe because almost every ancient culture considers the universe to be a womb of a mother goddess, and the ancient term for the female vagina and womb is Yoni. So I believe it's Sanskrit. If not, it's either Sanskrit or Hindi. And so instead of saying universe, we say Yoniverse. And Yoniversity is the place of learning. So the universe, the school is the universe itself. And so the universe, since the universe is the Yoniverse, we say Yoniversity. Okay, next we have community. I kind of jumped over that, but community is very important because community is a group of people that share common goals, values, desires, and most importantly, a common heart. Um, a community is a people that care about each other and love each other, and they all have the same goal. It's very important to understand that what a community is. And a BaastBook social media platform is a community dedicated to a certain group of people. It's not for everyone. And it's one of those things you just have to learn about and experience and find out if it's something that suits you. And if it doesn't, then it doesn't. But if you feel an inner calling to it, then that means it's probably for you. It's a tribe calling out to you. So a community is a group of people that love, respect, cherish one another. They look out for each other. They take care of each other, and they have common goals based on a common value and honor system that unites them together. Next, we have social media platform right here. So it's a social media platform because BaastBook is it has a Yoniversity, which is a section with courses, and those courses are in development at this moment. They're not. I don't have any courses available at the moment, but they're in development, and those courses are going to pertain to special knowledge, life skills, but most importantly, is going to pertain to spiritual knowledge and what I like to call intuitional knowledge that is, I believe, unique to this platform, and it's based on something called the dark feminine. And you hear a lot of people say the dark feminine. They say dark means evil, but that's absolutely incorrect. The word dark means not understood, something that you don't understand, something that is beyond your comprehension. So that is the correct meaning of the word dark. To say that dark means evil is just totally absurd. Since people fear things they don't understand, then you would see why logically they call dark evil. But dark is not the evil side of people or the evil side of the universe. Dark is the part that is not understood or beyond comprehension. There are some things that cannot be understood. There are some things that can be understood but hidden to you. That's dark. But there are some things that are beyond comprehension. And so comprehension is the realm of light. And so when we understand things that we understand and comprehend or can make sense of to some degree, we refer to that as light. You don't have to understand everything about something, but if you can make some sense of it, then we, like I said, we refer to that as light. So that's what light is. Light is intelligence, and it's the ability to comprehend things. Dark is more intuitive because it has no structure, no definition, but yet it is. So light is dealing with the realm of definition, constructs, rules, laws, and this is what allows us to comprehend things. Your intelligence uses definitions, rules, and laws to make sense of the world, but anything that is beyond definition is considered to be dark because the intellect cannot make sense of it. So that is what dark means. So, social media platform is there's a part of the platform that is similar to Facebook, where we have groups that specialize in certain topics, and people can interact and talk with each other and get to share information and learn and communicate. BaastBook is a paid platform. It's not a for free platform, and that's by design, because I'll go into it further. It specializes in knowledge. And when you want to find people of a certain caliber, uh, people who value knowledge, it's going to be people willing to pay for it. And people that aren't willing to pay for knowledge, by definition, don't value it. Anything that you don't want to pay for means it doesn't mean that much to you. If I had a diamond ring right here and you really wanted a diamond ring, you're gonna ask me, how much does it cost? Would I sell it to you if you really wanted it? If you don't want it, you're not willing to give anything for it. And so, in order to separate people who value knowledge and people who do not value knowledge, you have to have a paid platform, because once you say price or fee, that's going to eliminate a large number of people. They're going to say, no, I'm not going to pay. So that's already eliminated. That's like a first stage of eliminating certain type of souls that have not awakened to certain things. And that's just a separation process. And it's very important. And I had to learn it over the years. I used to give out knowledge for free. And I learned that there is a such thing as throwing pearls to the swine. There is a such thing as that, and you can give knowledge to people who don't value it, and you do a lot of work to give the knowledge to them and share and empower them, but they don't appreciate it, they don't value it, they don't value you, right? Because they're not willing to pay for it. And since it's free, you're not valued, and the knowledge you give, even though it's precious, is not valued. And it attracts people that show you constantly that you're not valued. So for that reason, BaastBook is a paid platform, and everything I do is going to be paid platform. That's going to eliminate, like I said, certain groups of people that don't value the knowledge, that don't value knowledge in general. And I'm going to explain in a little bit that the foundation of BaastBook is based on a spiritual teaching, and what I like to say, intuitional teaching, a dark teaching, uh, that Bast is connected or is a manifestation or representation of limitless knowledge. And so if you don't value it, you definitely don't need to be have a part of it. It's the same as in Wakanda. In the Marvel universe, vibranium is the most precious metal in the Marvel universe, and it's very valuable and it's very powerful. And so it's only been given to a certain group of people to use it because they value it enough, and they have the nobility, and so they have the knowledge and the nobility to use it wisely and properly. So Bast book is based on a similar principle. When I came up with the idea of the dark feminine, I didn't know about. I had heard of Bast before, but I didn't associate her with the dark feminine or knowledge. But I came into an awakening some years back of something called the dark feminine that I tapped into myself. And I later began to see that actually Bast is connected to that, and that the Black Panther movie or the Black Panther comic series and the Black Panther movie is actually based on dark feminine. I don't know how the writers, well, I have an idea. The writers, in my opinion, are channeling information from off-world entities, off-world sources, other dimensional sources, and they're getting this for their material. And I believe that these off-world beings are sort of guiding them, trying to remind humanity, and certain people of their origins and where they truly come from, so they can return to what I like to say, noble souls. Noble souls. Okay, so the next word we have is BaastBook here, and unlike I said, I wasn't original about the name. You know, we know who Bast is, but I picked the book part because it's like, since you have Facebook and everybody's on Facebook in groups and doing stuff on Facebook, so I'm just saying this is BaastBook. So, but it's for noble souls. It's not for everybody like Facebook is. Okay, and then next we have noble souls around the circle here. And so what does noble, first of all, what is a soul? And so the word soul is connected to the word connected to the word for light and sun. If you look up the etymology of SOL, you'll see that it connects to sun and light. And sun, most people are not aware, they don't know this, but light is the physical manifestation of intellect. It's the physical manifestation of intellect, of structure. Intellect is the foundation of is built on structure, rules, laws, blocks. You know, you build things with blocks. You build things with little bitty tiny finite blocks. And everything in the in intelligence requires that it deals with blocks. And that's why we break and analyze things down. And so light is a medium or a power that is used to construct things, to construct realms, dimensions, worlds, um, geometry, shapes, mathematics. Even is all based on rules and finite objects. And this is what light is. The purpose of light is to create these constructs for us to be able to have a world that is controllable. Because in order to control something, it has to be understandable. It has to be blocks that you can comprehend. Anything you can't comprehend, you can't control. The first rule, if you want to control something, the first thing you have to do is analyze it. And what does analyze mean? Break it down into little bitty blocks of understanding, little things that you can understand, and then you can understand how those blocks work with each other, and then you can manipulate those blocks to build what you want or what you desire. So that is what soul is. Your soul is your light body. It's your light body, and it's able to it radiates your intellect mind, your light, your aura. So that has to do with all of your thoughts, your beliefs, your desires, your programming, everything in you. And so that creates a light, and that light manifests for others to see. So when someone says, "Hey, that guy there, he's bright," or "He's smart," or when they show on a TV show when a guy thinks of something and a light comes on top of his head, it means that he understands, or he came up with an idea, a thought. A thought is a construct. It's a little block. It's a block made of other blocks. So that's what light is. And so the soul is your intellect, and it's sort of like the machine part of you, the part of you that runs on process, routines, programs, and that's what that part is. Now, what is noble? The word noble. I'm going to go into more detail about these words on the other post, but for right now, I just want to touch it a little bit. The word noble is connected to the word knowledge, to have knowledge. Okay. Well, what is knowledge? Knowledge is something that empowers you to do something or be something. That's what knowledge is. Knowledge is a power that is really, you can't give it a true definition, but what you can say that it's something that it just is. And when you become aware of this force or power that just is, it enables you to be able to do things. It gives you empowerment. So knowledge is power, and it gives you empowerment to have it. And so when you say noble, someone's noble, you're saying they're full of knowledge. They're full of empowerment. They're full of the ability to get things done, and they're aware of what it takes to get it done. So if you think about that, that's very powerful, because anything that you desire, anything you want to do, you have to know what it takes to get that done. You have to be aware of it. And if you're not aware of it, you can't accomplish it. No desire can be accomplished without knowledge. You have to have knowledge to do anything that you want to do. Even to move your hands, you have you have knowledge. There's knowledge built into your mind to guide you, to teach you to move your hands. So without knowledge, you can't do anything. You can't accomplish anything. Okay, well, Alfred, what does that have to do with anything? The dark mind is the mind of knowledge. It is the mind that is all knowing. It just is and always was. The dark mind was never created. It is not a construct. It just is and always was. So the dark mind is not evil. You see a lot of words in the dictionary where dark means evil and black means evil, and it's just totally ludicrous. It's people based on fear, misunderstandings, and start propagating that. And then some of it I think is intentional in order to mislead humanity in the wrong direction. But the dark mind is the mind of limitless knowledge. How does it know things? If you think about it, black absorbs all light. Okay, when we see something that's dark or black, it's because it's absorbing light or it's producing light that's so high on the spectrum we can't see it anymore. So like I said, it becomes hidden to you. So that's what it means, dark or black means hidden or not understood. Unknown, it means unknown. So when something is unknown or not understood by the intellect, it has no ability to master that which it fears. And so it fears because this unknown can cause things to happen that is undesirable. So the intellect mind always tries to create things that are desirable to you. It tries to figure out a way, map out a process, and construct something, a plan, a building, a set of rules, laws, anything, in order to give you what you desire. But things that are dark cannot be mastered, because in order to control something, to get what you desire, you have to be able to control something. And if you can't control it, you can't make it do what you desire. So the intellect always is trying to figure out how to control things. The dark is beyond understanding, therefore it cannot be controlled. There is nothing you can control if you don't understand it, how it works. If you don't understand what are the rules governing that object or thing or even a person, you can't. If someone wants to manipulate another person, they have to understand what makes that person tick. And that's how they manipulate them to do what they desire. So the dark mind is the mind of knowledge. And that's the one mind that humans have not been tapping into. And it's not just the mind of knowledge, it's the mind of purity. Because purity, innocence, and knowledge are connected. And I can't explain all of that in this video, but I have to go into that in another video. Darkness is connected to purity and innocence. It's all knowing. It knows everything. There is nothing that you can do, think of, or say or construct that the darkness didn't already know about. And not only does it know everything, it has the potential to create anything, to make anything. And the dark mind is so powerful that it also has, for lack of a better term, things in it that can't be understood by no intellect. No matter how great your intellect becomes, there's parts of the dark mind that is beyond understanding. No intellect, no matter how great it is, can grasp it. So that means that the dark mind can never be controlled. You maybe learn little aspects of something of the infinite. You can learn little bits of the infinite and control that, but you're never going to grasp the infinite itself. And so that's what the dark mind is. And so the dark mind is connected to innocence and purity. And so in order to be noble, you have to have knowledge, but in order to access that knowledge, it's also connected to innocence and purity. And I have to explain that in another video why that's the case. Without innocence and purity, you can't access the dark mind, the dark feminine mind. That's what I like to call it. And the light mind, I call it the light masculine mind. The light masculine mind is masculine. It has some femininity in it, but overall, I consider it masculine because its ultimate purpose is to control. The purpose of light, I'm going to say it again, the purpose of light is to control or to create an experience. It doesn't necessarily mean good or bad, but just an experience. That experience could be good or bad, but its purpose is to create an experience. Our bodies are made of light, so it creates an experience for us. Everything in our world is made of light, so it's creating an experience. We're having an experience built on light waves, that are actually coming from the dark ocean that we don't see. We're just seeing the waves in the ocean, and we interpret those waves as light. And those waves are used to build and construct realities. You know, our world is one reality. There are other realities that exist, and light can be used to construct basically any reality one can think of or imagine possible. And light is like a paintbrush and a canvas that allows you to do it. The dark mind is the knowledge that it takes to do it. And the most powerful knowledge that you can have is something I refer to as inner knowing. Inner knowing is the most powerful knowledge that you can have. It's a knowledge of you. It's the knowledge of within. It can't be taught. It's just something you have to discover or be aware of and find it. And so noble souls, the noble souls community is based on the community around the dark feminine first, and the light masculine, which is alabast, which has femininity in it too, but I consider it overall to be masculine. When I say masculine, it doesn't necessarily mean male. It just means control. Masculine means control, and feminine means soft, not necessarily submissive, but femininity can be submissive, and femininity can be chaotic. It can obey or not obey. And the reason why I say it cannot obey, because it has so much power in it that you can't master it. Femininity is connected to power. Masculinity is connected to the control of power, the manipulation of power. So femininity is power itself. And I'll go into other videos explaining why this is the case. And so the Noble Souls community is built around this, and it's built on the dark feminine. So when I became aware of the dark feminine and the light masculine, I became aware that when I later saw the Black Panther movie, I saw the teachings that I had come into on my own through meditation in that movie. And it's no doubt in my mind that the writers, the original writer and those who came after, who added to that story, that there is some other dimensional force behind its creation, guiding that story to teach those who have the eye to see, and to remind them of an ancient wisdom and ancient power that's been long forgotten and is based on purity and innocence. our world does not teach that purity and innocence are valuable. It teaches that intellect, being smart and clever, is the most valuable thing you can have. But in actuality, purity and innocence can give you cleverness, but it can also give you the knowledge and wisdom to know when and how to use cleverness. And it can also lead you to levels of cleverness beyond what we consider to be brilliant intellects. And the light mind is basically where we get the origin of sun gods too, because sun gods, the reason why we call certain deities sun gods is because it represents they have a high level of intelligence, and their intelligence is so great and so high that it radiates light, and everybody who's around them is captivated by their thoughts, because you have intellect, you have great thoughts, and so everybody's captivated by their thoughts. And it's not just mathematical intelligence, but there's musical intelligence and all kinds of intelligence. But no matter what kind of intelligence you got, it captivates other people, and that's what causes other people to listen to you, because in their soul they don't have any, they're in the dark. Then when we say dark means what? Unknown. And they don't have inner knowing to be able to know what to do. And so they rely on the light of others who radiate light to give them guidance and instruction. But there is a power that is in the dark mind that is all knowing. And you can feel it, you can sense that power, you can be aware and know of it, but you can't master all of it. But you can have access to it. So as beings of love, that is our true nature, that we are all beings of love, innocence, and purity that later became corrupted um, by this reality that we live in. I'll get into that more later. Uh, that we are our true nature is not of the intellect first, but is of love and intuition first. See, the dark mind is intuitive. It just knows. It doesn't need light. It doesn't have to be programmed or taught or shown or instructed, because that's what light is: instructions. Um, um, uh, when you're around someone who's very smart, the sun, for instance, the sun is giving the earth instructions all the time, telling it what to do. All life on the earth is based around the sun. The sun tells everything here what to do. And the sun itself is a clock. It tells us when the seasons and all of this, and it instructs everything here on what to do. And the moon, you could consider a type of sun as well. It's like a cold light sun. It's giving instructions as well. So all of that to say this, the Noble Souls community is a special community of pure-hearted souls that want to return to our true nature, which is that of dark feminine first. And I got some pictures here. I haven't shown them, but let me go ahead and show you the part about Panthera, that Bast is a panther god. She was originally represented as a lion, and the lion is taxonomically called, I hope I'm saying that word right, a Panthera Leo. So if you can go to Wikipedia and look this up. This is on Wikipedia, and I don't know if you can see it. It's right here. Um, it's right here that um, you have Pantherinae, and then Panthera, and then you have lion, leopard, jaguar, snow leopard. I'm gonna see, can I make it bigger here? You have a snow leopard and a tiger. Okay. So pretty much most of the large cats, I may be missing something, but as a basic rule, general rule, all of the large cats are considered to be of the taxonomic name Panthera. And later I get into more what that means. The mother goddess of our world is a panther goddess, and several cultures tell you this. She's a panther goddess, and the word panther really means all beast. She's every animal in one being. And so that is the true meaning of panther. Pan means all, or circle, or containment. It means all that there is, a pan. When you think of a pan, you cook in a pan, and the pan is like the world, the whole world. So the pan is all that there is, and the word there, Ther, means beast. So Panthera means all beast. And so the mother goddess is a panther goddess, and she has the powers of all beasts, all the animals, creatures seen and unseen, creatures that have never even come into existence yet. She has the powers of all of them inside of her. So, okay, so let's go to the next slide here. And this is where I'm going to show you, this is the yin yang. And my definition and interpretation of yin yang is different from the standard definition and interpretation of the yin yang symbol. You're if you're following what you've read from other people, you're gonna totally miss out on this, because most of what people teach is incorrect. It doesn't even reflect what the Asians teach. Most people say that yin yang is good and evil, and Asian teaching of the yin yang symbol does not teach that at all. That is something that the West is common in Western society, that good and evil, and they call black evil and white good. And that is based on, no doubt, that is based on white supremacy. And that's how that interpretation come into existence, because the Asians do not teach that. If you look it up and you go research yin yang, they're not gonna tell you it's good and evil, and that black is evil and that white is good. They're not going to tell you that. That's based on that teaching is based on white supremacy. Um, they'll teach you that white is masculine and that dark is feminine. They'll teach you that. But even in their teaching, there's a piece of it that's not. You have to be able to read between the lines, because when they say dark or yin, what they refer to yin, they're really referring to moonlight. And moonlight is dim light. It's the light you don't really see unless the sun is out. You don't, I mean, when I say out, I mean not being shown. When you don't see the sun and the moon is out. And so there's a light that the moon radiates that humans don't see. There's a light that it radiates that we do see, and there's a light that it radiates that we don't see. And it's really talking about that dim light. So when they're saying yin and yang, they're really talking about what we call dominant light, a dominant light force, and then a hidden light force. And that's what they're calling yin. But I'm calling the dark side to be darkness, complete darkness, lack of light. And so that mind has a power in it. Most people think that the darkness is nothing, but even Asian theology will tell you that the darkness is it appears to be no thing, but it's actually everything. And it's one of those things that doesn't make sense. It makes sense and it doesn't make sense, because it's something that the intellect can't it can't wrap around. Because how does limited make sense of the unlimited? It can't. By definition, you're limited and cannot fully understand unlimited. You can't do it. Why? Because you're limited. And in order to understand something, it requires limits. And I'll get into that more later, why that's the case. So, the dark mind is based on intuition. When your intellect fails you, there are things that your intellect can't do. Your intellect depends on what I refer to as information. And information is like a copycat of knowledge. It's like imagine knowledge to be the truth, the ultimate truth or truths. But information is like synthetic knowledge, meaning that it can be manufactured, it can be artificial. So what's an example? If someone tells you to if someone tells you to buy a certain stock because it's going to go up, and they tell you that it's going to go up because of they may say, well, there's going to be a shortage of gold, so buy gold because it's going to go up. Okay, if that person is giving you information, they're telling you gold's going to go up based on information, but that information can be bad. And if it's bad, your intellect's going to make bad decisions. You're going to purchase the gold. But what if you were given bad information, and there is no gold shortage? There's a gold surplus, and the price of gold goes down. See, so there's a difference between information and knowledge. Knowledge is something that is concrete. It's for sure. There is no guessing. And so when you learn more about the dark mind, you're going to learn that there's an ability. The dark mind has the ability to just know. It does not require intellect, analysis. It does not require educated guessing, mathematics, or anything. It just knows. And so that is the power. That is femininity. It has the power to just know, to sense it, to feel it, and just know. While the intellect, which is the light mind, is always trying to make sense of everything. And in order to make sense, it needs information. So information is like food for the masculine mind. It's like food. It's always processing information, and it's always sending out information for others to process. And that's how it controls everything. Okay, so the masculine mind is the intellect mind, is based on fear. And Alfred, why do you say that the light is based on fear? There's several ways I can show you this, but for right now, I'm just going to keep it simple. So you have to understand that the light mind is the ability to manufacture your desires into reality. Light is the brush or the building tool that allows you to construct, or even deities to construct worlds, realms, or whatever that follows rules according to their design, their will. So for your will to be done, you need the light mind in order to construct something that obeys you. Okay. Now, what does that have to do with anything, Alfred? What does that have to do with this? This has to do with everything, because desire has two sides: what you desire and what you do not desire. And what you do not desire, you fear. Fear is desire, but it's the things that you do not want to occur. For instance, if I'm afraid that my house is going to catch on fire, see, I don't want that to happen. So what do? I go buy a sprinkler system to control and prevent that from happening. That's a control. And then what do? I go buy insurance. So if my house burns down and I lose all my money and my investments in my house, that this insurance company will restore me and make me whole again by giving me the monetary value of that home and everything that's in it. So insurance is based on fear. You get insurance because of fear of something that's going to happen. Everything in the intellect is based on what you want to happen and fear of things happening that you don't want to happen. And that's why you need control, because control allows you to make reality behave the way you want it to. And if for some reason it doesn't behave the way you want it to, these companies, that's what insurance is there for. If reality, for some reason, you would want for your house never to burn down, right? But if for some reason reality does, even with your sprinkler systems and everything, your house does burn down, the fear causes you to have insurance so that you can get your money back. So everything in the world is based on fear. Everything in reality as we know it is based on fear. And you may not understand that at this moment, but if you stick with me later, you will. And if you definitely become part of the Noble Souls community, like I said, which is a paid community, that's already going to eliminate a lot of people that don't belong here. But it's a paid community. You're going to learn so much more, because this community is moving back into a realm of the supernatural. And it is no doubt that Wakanda and the Black Panther are glimpses of what a society that is noble can do. Let me say that again. Black Panther and Wakanda are glimpses of a society that, if they return to the dark feminine mind, which is represented as the Black Panther Bast, of what it could accomplish. Feminine, its femininity itself is associated with cats. Cats are very feminine. Even the male cats are very feminine. Cats are probably some of the most loving and affectionate animals you ever run into. I mean, every animal knows what love is, but even male cats, they're very affectionate animals. And cats also are stealthy. They're very soft. They know when to make noise and they know when not to make noise. And so their soft steps, softness is a symbol of things that are misunderstood. When something's hard, it's rigid. And rigid is another word for rules, lots of rules. You can make sense of it. It's defined. But if it's not defined as well, it's soft. That means you can feel it, but it's like you can't really give it a true definition. You can say it's just soft, because things that are soft kind of change shape and it's never the same. But things that are rigid stay the same, because they're bound by rules, by laws. But something that's soft is what? Relaxing the rules. And so it's harder to understand things that are soft. That's why it's dark. Softness is a symbol of darkness, femininity. And the ultimate softness is dark itself. It's so soft it can be anything. It can bring forth rigid things, but it itself is not rigid. And so darkness and femininity are really synonyms. Most people associate femininity with makeup and being sexually desirable to males, but that's not the true definition of femininity. That is a false feminine created by the light mind. That is just purely a sexual thing. Femininity is softness. It's things that are relaxed, that are not as defined. And feminine are soft. Feminine women are very soft skin, soft spoken. And because she's so soft, it's hard to put her in a box, because you think you can control her, but there are things about her that you don't see or understand. You just think you do. Okay, so let's move on to the next thing. Okay, so the dark mind, we're calling that intuition. I'm calling it, it is intuition. When you don't understand something, how do you have awareness of it? Intellect is a type of awareness, but when you don't have, when you can't comprehend something, how can you still be aware of things that you have no comprehension of? And this is what the power of the dark mind to go beyond your limitations. The light mind represents your limitations, and it's upgradable. It's like a computer. You can upgrade your light mind, and it can go beyond its limitations, but no matter how far it goes, it's always limited. The dark mind has no limits. It has no limitations. It's unlimited. It's soft. It's ultra soft. It has no limits. It has no rules, no terms, no definitions. So the dark mind allows you to go beyond your limitations. A person that is trapped in their light mind can't understand or can't tap into reality beyond what they've been shown or what they've been taught or what they've been instructed on. But if you can tap into the dark mind, you can reach beyond those limitations. And you can find things that are beyond your realm of reality. And that's why a person that taps into the dark mind can fathom any ancient mystery. There's no secret that a person that's in the dark mind can't eventually uncover. And so that's why it's a knowledge, it's a people of knowledge. Because if there's nothing that you can't uncover, that would mean you would be very knowledgeable. You would be the most knowledgeable person. Hence, you would be noble. And nobility is not just knowledge itself, but it's the knowledge of knowledge. And so it's the ability to know when and how to use knowledge. And when you get deeper into it, you realize that that knowledge is that the only power that knows how to use knowledge is love. It's the only power that knows when and why and how to use it nobly. Nobly. You have people that can use knowledge and information to do things, but they may not be noble in their use of it. You can create technology, weapons, all kinds of stuff, but you may not be noble. You're not noble. Okay. And so we're reaching for noble, meaning that you have a knowledge, you have an inner guidance system, an inner awareness that allows you to know what type of technology to make and how to make it, and how, not only that, how to use it, when and how to use it. So that is what Wakanda is, and the Black Panther symbolize. And like I said, there are forces off dimensional, other dimensional forces that are guiding that storyline. And it's not only speaking through that storyline, there are other shows it's speaking through too. People consult the spirit world for um, they consult the spirit world for ideas. And later I explain to you that the spirit world is the realm of ideas. It's the realm of light. It's the realm of ideas. And so people consult the spirit world for ideas and material in order to obtain wealth, success, and all kinds of things like that. And so spirits often find people who are willing to be vessels when they think the person may think the idea was theirs. Sometimes they know it's spirits giving it to them. The person may think the idea is theirs. Sometimes they know it's not theirs and that it was given to them. You can have dreams, visions, or sometimes you just aware that something is there alongside of you, feeding you information. And then there's some people who think they're originating it, but they're not originating. It's actually just being given to them. So these shows are connected, and in order to be aware of it, you need the ability to go beyond your senses. Most humans, most all humans are trapped in their senses. and they can't go beyond anything they've been taught or that they can sense directly in front of them or around them or with their body. But there are senses that we have that can go beyond your body. That's the dark mind, because it goes beyond your limitations. You have a light mind that's beyond your body, but the dark mind, ultimately, it can reach out limitless. There is no limit to what it can do. There is no limit. But the light mind has limits. Okay, so moving on from there, that is what my logo, created by my daughter Kemet. Um, I just told her what I wanted, and she went in there and she used Adobe, and she came back with something beautiful. She got inspired, and I mean, really, I was just thoroughly impressed with what she did when she came back with it. She just blew me away. It's beautiful logo. Now the community Yoniversity social media platform part, I added that later because I wanted that to communicate this emblem, or you could say crest. My mind's, I don't really know the correct term for it right now. Crest or emblem is what I wanted to represent in this platform. Okay, so these two symbols here are perfectly connected, and you have to use what I teach to understand it. If you go and you try to mix other people's teachings, whether it's the West or Asian teachings with it, you're going to get confused. You're going to come back and you're going to start trying to analyze things, and your intellect is not going to draw the right conclusions. Well, Alfred, how do you know you're right? You just have to, it's one of those things that you just have to get on the bus. You just have to sit down and go for the ride, and eventually you'll see it. You'll see it. Okay, so we have the Noble Souls community, which is my website, BaastBook, and we have a Yoniversity. There are special courses I'm gonna be creating there, dealing with all kinds of topics. But advanced, we're gonna have courses dealing with life skills that anybody can use. But we're gonna have courses that deal with advanced spiritual topics that are gonna be especially for certain people. Okay. So we let's go over here, and as I mentioned before, that Bast is a panther. That is correct term. She's also represented as a domesticated house cat. That's okay, but panther is also her power as well. She's a full-blown uh lion goddess, and the taxonomic name for a lion is Panthera leo, and she's not just in Kemet. Uh, uh, as Alabast, she's represented in the Hindu culture, and I have to explain that later because the Hindu call her Durga, Parvati, and Lakshmi, but their teachings of her deal with this part, deal with the light masculine part of her, that is her spirit. And spirit, the word spirit means light. Most people are going to give you these complicated definitions and sophisticated metaphorical, theological, esoteric definitions. Spirit means light mind. Sprite is connected to the word sprite, which means light. And the when you're breathing, I'll explain this later. A breathing is a cycle. Breathing represents a cycle. The intellect cycle is spirals. And so that's what breathing is. The intellect spirals. It's constantly twisting, 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 and spinning. And there's a reason for that. It constantly does that. And so that is how it becomes self-aware. And we call that life when it becomes self-aware. It's breathing. We say it's breathing. It's breathing in and out. And so that breathing is like a base um, intellect, a process that is occurring that causes it to breathe. because you go in and out. Anything that's breathing is doing some type of cycle, some type of in and out cycle, in and out cycle. Okay, so let's go on to the next thing. And then I mentioned to you that Bass represents noble souls. And I'm going to explain more in other videos about why is that the case. But I'm going to also show you here that the Black Panther comic is based on noble souls. And that Black Panther, the writers put that in there. I told you they're being guided by other dimensional forces. And so they put that in there, and it's not of their own understanding. And that the Black Panthers represent nobility. And nobility brings forth royalty. Okay. So in order to be noble, I mentioned earlier, you have to be pure and have innocence. And I'm not talking about naivety. Innocent and naivety is not the same thing, even though you may find it in the definition as a synonym, but it's not. It's not the same thing. Naivety is just someone that doesn't know any better. But innocence is a person that has a type of love in their heart that is sincere and untainted. It's like a child, like that of a child. It's untainted. And so that's what innocence is. And it also sounds like inner sense, like inner knowing. If you listen to it, it says innocence, and it also sounds like inner sense. And there's a reason for that. It means your ability to sense things from within, an ability to just know things. Okay, so here we have a piece from one of the Black Panther comics, and I found it on the internet. I don't know which comic it comes from. I just found it. I don't know which book. You know, I'm sure there are gurus out there that could tell you the exact comic book and where to find it. And I can just tell you that if you look up Black Panther and Mephisto, you'll find it. And so in this little comic strip here, we have the Black Panther talking with Mephisto. Now, Mephisto is what I refer to as the Red Oni. Mephisto is another word for the devil. You know, a lot of cultures call him the devil, but he's in every culture because some cultures fear him, some cultures idolize him, some cultures fear and idolize him at the same time. So this is who he represents. This is the Red Oni. I refer to the Red Oni, and he's often called a fire god or thunder god in various cultures. Usually a fire and thunder really are different forms of the same thing. So when you say a fire god and a thunder god, it's basically the same thing. And you know, lightning starts fires. So anyway, we have Mephisto here, and we have the Black Panther here, and they're having a conversation. And you see these two panthers here. You see a Black Panther on this side, and you see the Black Panther, the protector of Wakanda. He's the protector of the innocence and pure, a civilization that is powered by dark feminine. And if you look at if you read through this little section, you find out that there's another part that goes to this. I don't have it here, and I'll post it in another video. But there's a part where it's revealed that these Black Panthers here are the ancestors of the Black Panther himself, and that these are all his ancestors who have gone on to the afterlife, and they've become Panthers as souls. And so this piece right here tells you that the Panther souls symbolize purity and nobility, and that the Black Panther itself symbolizes purity of heart and nobility. There's a reason why the Black Panther always takes the heart-shaped herb, because the heart-shaped herb is the symbol of dark energy, the dark mind. And the dark mind actually is in the heart. It's actually that's the source of it. It's love itself is what the dark mind is. It has nothing to do with, it's not that evil and other crap that people teach. But the dark mind is an all-knowing mind, a mind of limitless knowledge. Okay, so what love knows everything. Okay, love knows all things. So, but anyway, if you see here, it says, you see, he's what he does is he's contaminating this pure soul. Some type of deal got struck between Black Panther and Mephisto, and Black Panther, these souls agreed to uh, allow Mephisto to contaminate them under a certain condition. It's really a trap that the Black Panther has laid for Mephisto, but Mephisto thinks he's won. So so as he starts to consume each of the Black Panthers, look at what he says. He says, such nobility. I'm going to see if I can make that bigger so you can see that. He says, such nobility, such purity, I never imagined. See it again? Such nobility, such purity, I never imagined. So he's in the process of contaminating purity. And as he contaminates the panther souls, they become these fire panthers here. They're part of the red Oni. And I'm going to teach you later about why the Black Panther is based on ancient Kemet, or ancient Kemet, which I believe ancient Kemet is probably based on another civilization that's older than ancient Kemet that worshipped Bast, not Ra. So Mephisto here is the red Oni, and later I'll teach you that he's actually the symbol of Ra, the sun god. Okay, and Ra is the symbol of intelligence, pure intelligence, and he is an entity. He is a being that exists, that is pure intelligence, and he believes that intelligence is the superior force in the universe. And the Black Panther here represents a force that believes that love is the superior force in the universe. Okay. So there's a war between these two. That's why this is the light mind and this is the dark mind. And this mind believes that intelligence is the superior force in the universe and deserves to rule. And it is the mishandling of intelligence that what produces what we call evil. Now, and I didn't say intelligence was evil. I said it is the mishandling or misuse of that mind that is what creates what we call evil. Okay. And so purity comes from the dark mind, the mind of innocence, the mind of love. That is the mind of nobility. So this is what BaastBook and the Noble Souls community represent here. And this represents the rest of the world, really. They follow the red Oni, whether they know it, they do or not, because the world believes that intellect, cleverness is the ultimate power, even above love. You can look in the world around you, people, and when I say love, I'm talking about innocent, pure love. I'm not talking about romantic love, because this God here, Mephisto, is also the God of romantic love. And I actually have to explain that later. And there's a lot to go with that. And a lot of people are not going to like to hear that. But he's the God of what we call romantic love. And so what he's done is he's taking pure and innocent love and he's actually distorted it into what we call today as romantic love. Now, I'm not saying romantic love is evil. I'm saying he's using it as a tool, and most humans are not aware they're falling under that. You can have romantic love and be pure and innocent, but our world does not teach that pure and innocent romantic love is the most powerful. Our world teaches that lust and desire, which is born of the light mind, is the most powerful. everywhere is driven by, our world teaches that, lust and desire. And he's also called the god of desire. He's called Kamadeva. The Hindu call him Kamadeva, the god of desire and lust and sexuality, of god of sex. And he's also called the fire god Agni. And the Africans call him, they have lots of names for him. They call him Isu. They call him Shango. Some people are going to say Isu and Shango are not the same, but they haven't done their homework, because there are people who practice Ifa, and they've written books and basically said that Isu and Ifa are really, I'm sorry, Isu and Shango are really different manifestations of the same God. But a lot of people are going to get thrown by that, because, like I said, they haven't done their homework. They just heard what somebody told them. They just read some superficial information somewhere, and they started regurgitating it, and they never actually took the time to get into it, what's going on. And you can figure it out without any of some of the people who are deep into the religion, who practice it, telling you. But to make it easy, some of them will just tell you. They'll just tell you outright. And a lot of deities are actually the same deity that people think are separate deities. Like, for instance, the fire god, the Hindu probably have 100 names for him or more. They might have 1,000 names for him. The Hindus have texts where they write like hundreds of names for the same deity. They call them hundreds of different names. I mean, and then they'll talk about them in the text as if they're separate. And then later you'll come across a text that tells you that actually they're the same God. They're not different. They're just different aspects of that deity, because that deity is so sophisticated that you can't encapsulate everything that they do and everything they control with just one word. You can't just say he's the fire god and that's all. It doesn't encapsulate everything. So they give him all these names to try to show you that he's not only a fire god, he's a god of technology. He works metal. He also knows how to he's a god of sexual desire, and all of these different things like that. And when people think they're dealing with different gods, they're actually dealing with the same one. It's not a different one. But they just read something on the internet. They read a page, or somebody told them something, or they don't do their homework. They just kind of superficially learn the information, or somebody told them, and they start repeating it, and then they start defending their shallow understanding of what's going on. Okay, so the Black Panther represents the Black Oni, and he represents purity and innocence, the power of purity and innocence. And most people, when they think of purity and innocence, they think of harmless or not violent. But what they don't know is that that's incorrect. Purity and innocence can be very aggressive in protecting others, in protecting itself and protecting others. It can be very aggressive. And that's why you see the statues of Bast growling so much, because she's protecting the purity and innocence. And I'll explain later what that vibranium symbolizes: purity and innocence of the heart. It symbolizes that a dark power, a dark energy is actually materialized dark heart energy. And that's why it makes the heart-shaped herb, because it's materialized dark heart energy. And when they take that herb, they get a boost of dark energy in their heart, and it boosts their abilities, their senses. The Black Panther is really supposed to be a shaman. They don't really deal with this in the I think it's in maybe some in the comic, but definitely in the movie they just focus on Black Panther's technology and as a king, as advanced technology and being a king. The Black Panther is supposed to be a shaman, a priest. He's a king also, and he's a warrior. And he is the protector, the defender of the purity and innocence in a world that's trying to corrupt it, that's threatened by it. And this red Oni, you're going to learn later, is threatened by purity and innocence. It's actually the one thing that can actually stop him from having complete domination, from being the ultimate ruler, from being the ultimate power, and that purity and innocence stands in his way. Okay, so you see here he says such nobility, such purity, and then he says I never imagined. So that tells you that the writers are either aware or just channeled it, or maybe a little bit of both. That the Black Panther and Wakanda symbolize purity and nobility. Okay, symbolizes purity and nobility. So next, let's go to this is something that I wanted to mention that is very interesting about the movie Black Panther. Okay, um, Angela Bassett plays the Angela Bassett plays the Queen of Wakanda. Okay, she's the Queen of Wakanda, and it's very interesting. There's no way this is a coincidence. Okay, this woman, she's a very beautiful woman, very powerful actress. I mean, and when she's playing the role of Queen Ramonda, I don't see an actress. I see a woman calling forth some type of ancient, sleeping, dormant part of her. When she's playing that role, she's calling forth a sleeping part of her that's actually there, but it's dormant. And so when she's playing that role, she channels it. It comes up, it swells up, and yes, what you hear in her talk. That's why her talk is so powerful. When she gives her speeches, it's so powerful. Okay. Now her name is Angela Bassett, and she plays she's the Queen of Wakanda, the nation that worships the goddess. Bast is also spelt as Baset. You can spell it several ways, and it's pronounced. I'm sure Egyptologists could tell you all the ways it's pronounced, but it's if you pronounce it the way it's spelled several ways. And I'm going to show you here. You say, well, Alfred, what are you talking about? It's not true. Give me just a moment here. And I should have already had it ready for you, but I'm going to have to, I'm going to have to get it for you right quick. Um, there we go. Bastet. Okay, I found it. I'm going to put it over here. And let me say that despite anyone's criticism of Wikipedia, I, I don't give a crap what anybody says. Wikipedia is one of the best sources of information on the internet. No source of information is perfect. We live in a finite world. You can't create perfection in a finite world anyway. There isn't enough pieces. But as far as a place to get started, and on top of that, they provide you with references. Most people say you can't trust Wikipedia because anybody can edit it, blah, 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 blah. It's bull. If you go down to the bottom, they're going to provide you with references of where they got most of their information from. Now, like I said, some of the articles have more references than others. Some of them don't. But it's a good start. It's not perfect, but it's a start. And so if anybody want to get started, I would say get started on Wikipedia, and then from there you can go find more authoritative sources. But let's go up here to the top, and let's make it bigger here. Okay. Now you see they mentioned Bast, Bastet and Bast. If you come down and you look, you're gonna see, look at this right here. Her name also is rendered as this B apostrophe SST, Bust. I don't know how you pronounce that. I'm just gonna take a guess. Bust. Then they have Bast with two A's. That's the way I'm spelling it for BaastBook. They have Ubast, and they have Baset. Look at that. Look at that. Baset. Look at that. And you see they have her represented as a black cat. Okay. And they says If you look at over here, they says a symbol of a uh they said a cat-headed woman rather than a lioness, but it says she's a symbol of what? A lioness and a what? A cat. See there? See there? Okay. Now, so her, as you can see that Baset is her name. And then let's go over to Angela Baset. Look at that. I mean, that can't be a coincidence. I mean, it's what are the chances of the woman who plays the queen? And when you think about it, the true queen of Wakanda is Bast. She's responsible for the creation of Wakanda because it was her, even according to the comic storyline and the movie storyline, it was her that brought all the tribes together when she led their first king to the heart-shaped herb in a vision, or a dream or a vision, which is the same thing. Dreams and visions are the same thing. A vision is a dream that you have with your eyes open. You can have a vision with your eyes open or closed, but what I mean by not in sleep state, rather, maybe that's a better way to say it. So what are the chances? What are the chances of the Queen of Wakanda, played by a woman whose name is Angela Bassett? Okay, and the word Angela is also angel. And I have to explain this later, but most people don't know that uh Bast is not just one goddess, but she represents a whole tribe of spiritual beings in another dimension, and they're often referred to as angels because they have wings. Okay. And remember, I told you that panther or panthera means all beast. So Bast is not just a cat, but she has the power of all beasts. And the Hindus also teach that their panther goddess that they represent as a tiger and a lion, they teach that their goddess, Durga, also called Parvati or Lakshmi, they have thousands of names for her, but they call her the woman of a thousand forms, and they say that she's the reason why all the animals exist, because she shapeshifted into all these different animals, and she made a female version of every animal. And then a male god saw what she did, and he wanted to mate with her. And so he copied her and made a male version of all the animals. But she's every woman. She made the first version of every female. And they said that the female, she made all of the female version of all the animals first. And then she later the male god copied her, imitated her, and then made a male version of all of the animals to try to mate with her in every form she was in. So what are the chances of her name being Angela Bassett, Angel Bassett, and she plays the role of the queen of a nation who worships Angel Bassett? Okay. Bast is actually a winged lion. And they even have that in the comics. They have some Black Panthers and some of the Black Panther comics, and they show them with wings. But that's not their only form, because I told you panther means all beast. And since panther means all beast, they can take any form of any beast, any animal. That's why they're called panthers. Pan, all, T-H-E-R, or T-H-E-R-A for feminine, beasts, all beasts. And she's the queen of beasts. She's the mother of all beasts. So what are the chances of that happening? I mean, how many people, people, you just got to sometimes look at something and you just got to say, it's some higher powers controlling things here. Now, to what extent that the people that are putting all this together are aware of what they're doing, I don't know. But it's no doubt that some force is guiding this process, it's steering it. And when you learn more about what spirits are, you learn that spirits specialize in putting thoughts in the minds of humans. They specialize in that because they come from the spirit world. And the spirit world is the mind of thought, it's the mind of dreams. So, Angela Bassett, Queen of Wakanda, Angel Bassett. And the true Queen of Wakanda is Bast, Bassett. She's the true queen. Why? Because Wakanda is hers. And the Black Panther is her chosen guardian of her domain, her world, her realm. Is that making sense? He's the chosen guardian. He's the chosen caretaker. And what you're going to learn later is that that word caretaker actually means husband. So the Black Panther symbolizes the husband of Bast. Black Panther sometimes is a woman, but it symbolizes a masculine role. The role is masculine, but powered by the feminine. And in order to become the ultimate male, the ultimate masculine power, you need the feminine to do it. The feminine empowers the masculine. Feminine is power. Masculine is the ability to have authority over power. But in order to have authority over power, you still need the feminine to guide you how to have authority over it. The dark feminine mind. And a lot of women gonna think that just they're because a woman that they have it. No. The women of our world today have been disconnected from the dark feminine mind. They're disconnected from it. And that's why we're not teaching this knowledge that I teach. And more about details about what I teach will be revealed soon. That's coming with time. Okay. So next we have I was thinking about doing a reaction to the Black Panther movie trailer. I'm still thinking about it. I don't know, but that's just what I wanted to reveal to you about my social media platform and the purpose of it. It has a very special purpose. Now I'm gonna have courses in there that are for everybody. Anybody can, stuff. I'm gonna have stuff about relationships. I'm gonna even have some courses in there about how to use technology to accomplish certain things, because these are life skills that everybody needs. And since the platform is so specialized, um, it has a limited demographic, and in order, to make it, more profitable, I have to provide some type of, I have to provide services for a broader audience. And so there'll be courses in the Yoniversity for everybody, and then there'll be spiritual courses there if you want to get deeper into it. And then for those who really want to get serious about it, you have the option of joining the Noble Souls community, but you do not have to join it to take the courses. But it's kind of like getting your foot in the door. But if you don't want to do that, if that doesn't interest you, no problem. I'm going to have stuff for a general audience. And then for those who want to take it a step further in learning what the dark feminine is and what that means, and what direction is going to take us in, as far as enabling us with power, spiritual power, all kinds of power, and also giving us the wisdom to know how to use and when to use it. And when you have knowledge, you don't have to fear anything. Let me say that again. When you have knowledge, you don't have to fear anything or anyone. It is the lack of knowledge that why we fear. So the people who follow the path of the dark feminine mind, and the which I'm calling the path of Bast, and Alabast symbolizes the logical, intellectual mind, and that mind, which I call the masculine mind, has femininity in it too. It has like a version of it, but it's not the true thing, but it does have femininity in it too. And that's what we call the divine feminine. And I'll explain that later. You got the dark feminine and the divine feminine. And people get that confused because they don't understand what words mean. The word divine means light. You can look it up. The word divine is connected, means to shine. It means to be brilliant. It means to be smart, intelligent. And you can be brilliant in many ways. It's not just mathematics. It could be music. It could be art. It could be all kinds of things you could be brilliant in. But divine ultimately means intelligence. And the dark feminine means intuitive, intuition. It means inner knowing and the ability to sense things. And if you can sense thing, if you can sense something, you can become aware of it. So there's no knowledge that you can't have access to if you have the ability to sense, to feel, to just know. Some of you see where this is going. It's a power to just know things, to just know the truth and not have physical proof for the intellect. The intellect needs physical proof, tangible proof. It needs something that follows a logical process that backs whatever up. But the dark mind can just know without any of that. And that's what makes it superior to the light mind. The light mind can never be master over the dark mind. And it's always going to be a student of the dark mind, because no matter how much the light mind learns, there's always more the dark mind knows that the light mind doesn't know. Okay, so I think that's enough for my first video here. I had a lot of material here. I hope it's generating some interest. I hope some of you go to BaastBook.com, just take a look at it. I'm going to put some more videos out. I plan to put a lot of videos out. I'm going to get it out, market this thing. Like I said, it's a platform, it's a calling, and there's another stage that this is going to go to another. Once this reaches a certain point, there's another stage we're going to go to where we're going to actually formalize a system of thought, a system of thought. That's me. I'm learning how to use this software. I've never done a video like this before, so I'm learning how to use it. But uh, for lack of a better word, a church or a temple, a group of people who adhere to the teaching of the dark feminine mind, a group of people who follow that path. And I have actually already have a name for it, and it's revolved around the female Yoni, because um, when you think of a temple is a place or a location of purity, and we exist in a temple. The world we live in is a temple. Our body is a temple, and Yoni itself is a temple. The female is a symbol. The female womb is literally the definition of a temple. It's a location, a point, or a space for some type of finite being to come into existence. So when a finite being comes into existence, it's limited, and it's stuck in its limitedness, for lack of a better word. It's stuck in its little bitty containment container. But it is the dark mind, the dark feminine, that makes you able to go beyond your container. You're more than your container. So it is the female that gives us a container. She gives us a body. Males provide sperm. That's the soul, your intellect mind. That's the reason why men have sperm, because sperm represents souls, intellect, light minds, and the yoni itself represents a containment, a temple for those light minds to exist in a realm. So the female makes a covering, a temple. She makes a temple for your soul to exist in, and she herself is a temple. So I'll reveal the name of that later, but uh, the entire basis of the teaching is the purification of the female, of the yoni, back to its original dark feminine pure state. And in that state, there is no death or disease. And I have to explain that later. Why is that the case? Because right now, the female yoni is, and it's even in the mythology. You can get mad with me. It doesn't change anything. It's even in the mythology of various cultures. You can go to any religion, and it's in there. And they'll basically tell you that woman has been contaminated with what I refer to as the red oni, or death energy, and that this is what causes all living things born of her to die. And so it's in Hindu teaching that anything born of a yoni is destined to perish, suffer, and perish. And that's why they teach we're in the cycle of life, death, and rebirth. And they also call you it's the world of suffering. If you look it up, they call the cycle of life, death, and rebirth the world of suffering. And we're suffering because of a panther goddess, a mother goddess, has been contaminated with a death parasite, a death god who is, we call the male god. He's the current ruler of our dimension, and this is why everything dies, because whoever becomes king gets to interject their essence into how the world, the universe the Yoniverse operates. And since he's a death god, which in Black Panther they called him Killmonger. Uh, the other stuff about him representing African Americans and all that, that's just stuff that the director of Black Panther put in there to make the story interesting. But it's really, the death god is worshipped everywhere as the fire god, the sun god, etc. He's also called the trickster, and I have to get into all that later. But he's the reason why there's death, disease, and suffering in our world, because he's the ruler. He's the killmonger. Killmonger mean what? A person that loves to kill everything. And so because he is he's also a god of intelligence, and he believes that logic is superior to love, and that love is not to be respected. And that is why suffering exists in our world. All suffering comes from the lack of love. That's what all suffering originates from. Evil is the definition of something that is devoid of inner knowledge, and is devoid of love, and is devoid of inner knowledge. And it's an intellect that is misguided. It is an intelligence that is trying to operate in authority without the guidance of the dark feminine mind. And that's what creates the red oni. And so the black oni is the intelligence that is in submission to the dark feminine mind, and recognizes that the dark feminine mind is all knowing and is the true teacher. And so the Black Panther represents that. And the souls of Wakanda represent the people who follow that path. And that is ultimately the reason in the comic for Bast giving them the vibranium mound, because the dark energy represents limitless knowledge, and corrupt people will do nothing but destruction and hurt others with knowledge. They would only reap havoc with it. And you need a people who have love and purity and innocence in their heart, that knows how to use such power, that are not contaminated by greed and other things. We all need money to live. And it's not that money is the problem. The problem is that money becomes everything. And you forget that there are people, there are souls. And if the process of making money, you're hurting people. You're hurting things around you, trying to obtain your goals. And that is a red Oni. It will obtain its goal by any means necessary. And it will only try to follow certain rules to preserve something because it's in its best interest, not because of love. See, there's a difference if someone does something for you because it's in his or her best interest to, or they're doing it because they love and they care about you. See, it may be in someone's best interest to get you out of debt. If you're in debt, they may give you the money to get out of debt, but it may be some ulterior motive that's pushing them to do it. See, so there's a lot going on here, and for the right people, I have a lot of knowledge to share, and we're going to go a long way with this. It's going to lead us to supernatural abilities. Yes, those things exist. Those powers exist. We've been taught to laugh at it, make fun of it. And the Red Oni has sent people here, charlatans, to make us think that such things don't exist. It's all a deception to make us think that certain things don't exist, and they do exist. Because in order for him to reign supreme, he has to subjugate, lie to, and deceive other souls and feed on those souls for energy and power. So I explain all that later, and we get into that. But if BaastBook is something that appeals to you, definitely stick around. And if you're serious about it, you're gonna have to pay for it. And I'm decided on that. I'm not changing my mind on that. I've had plenty of experience. People who say give free, they don't know what they're talking about, and they have good intentions. A lot of them have good intentions. They really do want to. They want to help, but they don't understand how the world operates, and so that's why they say that. I used to say that years ago. I used to say that. I was living by that, giving everything free. But free attracts low quality souls. You need people who recognize value. Just because somebody pays doesn't necessarily mean their quality, but it does mean that that person values knowledge. And a person that values something is going to treat it very differently. They're going to treat you and the knowledge you give very differently than a person that does not value it. I've lived this, I've done this, and you attract people that don't value what you do, the knowledge you give, and they just have their hands out, gimme, 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 and they can't use it anyway because their souls are too corrupt to make any use of it. To make use of noble souls' knowledge, you have to have a pure heart. And if you're selfish and greedy and don't want to help anybody else, you don't have a pure heart. So the information is useless to you. You can't use it. Noble soul knowledge only works for noble souls. So as general life skills, these knowing these things will help you in life, but in order to step into the supernatural realm of power, you have to know it in your heart on a deeper level. See, a corrupt man can tell you you have to give back in order to receive, because His intellect has shown him that he has to give back to receive. But it's one thing in your heart to be giving out of your heart. It's another thing. So, like I said, it's a paid platform. Um, I have a 50% off coupon right now for people who sign up. It's limited amount of slots, but I could increase that. It just depends. But right now, the 50% off is like $37.50 a month, I think. But the original price is going to be $70 a month. And then that's for the basic level. And then there's going to be some other levels I'm going to have that's going to cost more, because that if you're serious about this, I'm telling you right now, get your finances together for it, because I'm not going to accept anyone telling me you're charging too much or this and that. You already have told me who you are once you do that. And if somebody told you that uh, there's $1 million in the back of your yard and you believe them, buried in the back of your yard, but you're going to need $1,000, you're going to need $1,000 to dig it up, or 2,000, you're going to get the money to do it. Well, there's nothing more valuable than knowledge itself. And the greatest knowledge you can have is inner knowledge, because inner knowledge is going to lead you to all other knowledge. Not just knowledge of how to have financial wealth, but it's going to lead you into knowledge of how to become a supernatural being, which is our true place we're supposed to be. We're all supernatural beings because we're born from love, and love is all powerful. Love has all knowledge and all power, therefore all power. So there's no reason why we should be ever sick, suffering, or have anything called lack. You should never have a not enough anything you need to do anything you want to do. See what I mean? I'm just adjusting my glasses here. When you're on camera, you look different. You see all kinds of things you didn't see before in the mirror. So it just makes you a little more self-conscious. But I like it since I've started playing around with the camera. I realized, hey, I probably need to you know, it makes you aware of yourself and things the room for improvement. But yeah, so everybody that want to get on board, I want you on board with this. Um, I'm a loving and caring person, and I know that love has power, and I have all kinds of knowledge to share, and I can prove it to you. But if this is something that you're interested in, I would advise you, if you're in a financial situation, to start getting knowledge about how to improve that situation, and set aside things that are not important for things that are most important. And there's nothing more important than knowledge, and the dark feminine mind is the source of all knowledge. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm the only guy that I've ever seen teaching that the dark feminine mind is the source of knowledge. If there's somebody else out there, I'll be more than happy to meet them. And then it's just basically be two peas in the pot, because I haven't seen anyone teaching that the dark feminine mind is the source of knowledge. I haven't teaching anyone that teaches it the way I do. And there's going to be more to come. But the best knowledge is going to be for those people that are not stingy, and they want to see me do well too. I want to bless you, and I want to be around people who want to bless me. And in order, part of the dark feminine awakening is being 100% honest with yourself and other people. Is that I want to bless others, and I want to be blessed as well. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing evil about that. There's nothing corrupt about that. There's nothing greedy about that. I'm going to bless you, and knowledge is going to bless you. And I want to see you thriving. I want to see you winning. I want to see you prosperous, limitless health, wealth, and prosperity. And I want to have limitless health, wealth, and prosperity. And until we reach a certain level of knowledge that we're beyond the need for money, we need it. So as of right now, we do need money. We live in a world where we need it. But there is a level of awakening that is beyond the need for it, but we have not reached that yet. So until we get there, You're gonna have to open up your pocketbook. You're gonna have to want to see somebody else winning. And I've worked with people over the years, and they want to win. They don't want to see me win. And I've been around that all my life. I've grown, I call it the crab community. I've been around that all my life. People who think like that. I grew up in a neighborhood like that. Friends and family who think like that, you know, over groups of people who just, I just realized they're not good people. They're just not good people. And I'm trying to give things to people that are, they're just not good people. It's just the truth. Their soul is so corrupt, and they're so they've let go of their innocence and purity. They've let the world trick and deceive them into giving it up. And I explain that later, that this entire world we live in is created to get souls to give it up. None of this stuff about status, wealth, education, all this is important. Your soul and your heart are the most powerful things and most valuable things that you have. And with them, you can create your own worlds. You can do the supernatural. You can create dimensions of your own. And so this world was constructed to get you to to abandon your true nature, abandon your power, and to give it to other beings who have learned how to siphon away life force and energies away from other souls in order for them to have what they want. So in order for them to win, you have to suffer. Just like in nature, in order for one animal to live, it has to take the life of another animal. And we do that. We live that in this world. In order for one life to live, the life of other creatures have to be taken, whether it's plants or whatever, plants, animal, whatever. You have to take life in order to maintain yours. And that is a design of this world that is artificial. It is not our true nature. It is an artificial construct of the light world that is used to get you to break and sin against your true nature, which does not wish to do that. Have you ever seen a child the first time they see an animal, they realize that humans kill animals to eat them? When you were a child, the first time you realize that, and you see other children, the first time they realize that you kill animals in order to eat them, they're horrified. We all were there, and then we eventually started accepting it because we were contaminated. And even plant life. People think that plants are not sentient. Plants are sentient beings. They're sentient too. They're sentient in a way that is beyond your current ability to understand. But as your senses awaken and get higher, you're going to find out that you can communicate with plant life, and it can talk to you, and it has a will of its own. It has a will of its own. But our world is just designed to work like that, to as a type of prison system. So it's the world of life, death, and rebirth. And like I said, it's been contaminated with the current king, which is the death god, who is married to the mother goddess. She's the mother of all life, all living. And because of that marriage, death is interjected into this world, and that's what causes pain and suffering. And it all originates from that. And this, the teaching of the dark feminine, is the process of of reawakening and purifying ourselves and the mother goddess as well of death parasite, death entity. Because it is not love's will that anyone should suffer. And we've been taught by this world that suffering is a sign of nobility. It's a trick, it's a deception. It's a deception. So it's not our true nature. It's not what we're here to do. It's not it's not what love wants us to have. Suffering is not needed to get stronger. This world teaches you that you have to suffer to get stronger because it's designed to work that way. But actually, pleasure itself can make you stronger. The reason why pleasure isn't doing it in this world because the king of this world has contaminated it, and he made most things that are pleasurable destructive. Basically, everything pleasurable really has a destructive nature to it. If you look at food that tastes good, the best tasting food is the worst for is also the worst for your health. Even though we need sugar for our body to work, sugar is poisonous too. We need it for energy and it's poisonous. You consume too much sugar and then it destroys you. So everybody's been trained to call it balance, but it's really a limit been placed on you. What they call balance is a limit, meaning that you can't go beyond a certain point. It's only going to be so good for you and it's not going to give you anything else. That's by design. That you can only go so far, you can only do so much, and then you start suffering. And why are people taking drugs and addicted to sex and things like that? Why? And I'm going to get into it more later, but I'm just kind of feeling it right now, so I'm just going to go ahead and keep talking. People are addicted to drugs and sex and other things like that because they're trying to experience bliss, which is we're supposed to be able to experience bliss, and bliss is supposed to be nurturing for you. But the ruler of our dimension, I keep saying it, and I don't know if I've told you in this video, but I call him the death god. He's made it where that pleasure and bliss are toxic. And so you need your dark feminine mind to show you how to restore bliss from within in order to return to its true power. Bliss has the power to elevate your mind to higher levels. When you feel good, just think about if you wake up one day and you feel good. You think better, you can run better, you get along with people better. Everybody's happier, everybody's feeling good. But when people feel bad, what do? They start fighting, they're grumpy, they're irritable, they're snapping you up, friendships are breaking down, relationships breaking down, and a lot of it comes from just from inside. People don't feel good. They just don't feel good for whatever reason. They've succumbed to different things of this world, whether it's physical and or mental, psychological, or emotional. They've come to succumb to things. So bliss has the ability to elevate a soul to a higher level. You need bliss, but you need bliss that's not toxic. So a lot of people they'll use drugs and things like that to try to experience bliss, and they'll tell you, they say, well, I wrote this song or I painted this thing when they were high, but the drug or whatever they're using is killing them at the same time. But at the same time, they're doing all this great work, they're channeling all this great material, and so the person is what, trapped between trying to experience bliss and be at the high level where they're supposed to be, and then all of this pain and suffering that's coming behind it. And that pain and suffering is a counterweight to make sure that you don't go too far. But and so he has what I like to call, what I call Trojan horses, and loaded in everything that's pleasurable in this world: sugar, sex, drugs, anything that gives pleasure has a Trojan horse in it, that if you engage in too much of it, it's going to start countering any benefit that it gave you. So the dark feminine mind is going to lead us back to purity and innocence, that's all going to bring us bliss that is non-toxic and that you can experience, and you need that to elevate your mind to the supernatural level. In order to reach supernatural powers, you have to have high levels of bliss, happiness. And when you have these high levels, I'm not talking about what they teach you in a lot of these spiritual teachings where they say they teach you to just smile all the time and act happy and don't worry about anything. No, I'm talking about a level of bliss and joy and happiness. And sex is supposed to do that. It doesn't in the human race. It doesn't. Nowhere on earth it works the opposite. And they'll tell you, people tell you, oh, no, it's not. Because at the point of doing sex, if it worked like it's supposed to, you would, when you two finished, you will both be more enlightened beings, or dark feminine awakened. Enlightened just simply means higher intelligence. That's all. You would be aware of forces in the universe that you didn't even know exist. Your mind would have so much bliss that it would, in order to become aware of certain things in the universe, your mind needs a lot of energy, a power to do it. And power is bliss. Bliss is power. And when you experience, and so uh too much bliss will cause it'll reach a certain point where it'll give you a benefit. And so people experience pleasure, but then they keep doing it. They may be able to touch a few things in a higher dimension, see a few things, hear music, hear ideas, see dimensions, see worlds, see beings, and then all of a sudden they come crashing down. They come crashing down to the ground. And then you see it destroying them. So anyway, that's by design. It's not supposed to be. There's a way out of all of this and a way to get around all of it. Love, we're going to show you the way. But you don't know how to tap it. You think love is just the feeling of goo goo gaga over somebody. That's not love. That's actually a chemical response creating that. Love is a power that is purity and innocence. It's closer to more like what children experience. It's what children experience. And you can tap that knowledge once you learn how to feel it and tap it, and it'll teach you things. It can show you things. It'll open doorways. It'll give you dreams that you never had before, and show you secrets, all of which will benefit you, some of which will not be pleasurable, but all to your benefit. It'll show you things, some things it'll show you that you don't want to know, but you need to know. And that's what love do. Is going to give you what you need. And it can show you how to have bliss too, without limit. That's not destructive bliss. And so all of the plants and herbs of this earth are injected with that give bliss, are also injected with poison, Trojan horse poison in it. And if you use it, it'll give you a little bit sample of what it's like to have it. It'll give you a taste of it. But if you start trying to get too much of it, it's going to counteract and cause you to crash. It's going to destroy you. And that is a containment to make sure that you never go past a certain point. you know so like I said, we're all going to be dealing with this. I'm going to be teaching this, and I hope it helps a lot of people. And I want to attract a tribe of people who are like me. I want a tribe of people who are like me, who want to keep their purity and innocence and not ashamed of it. you know when I grew up, people were mocking me because my heart is is like that of a child. It is. I care about people. I've had women and men mock me, and really, I've had women, men call me weak or whatever, and then sometimes men may call you. They'll say, "Well, you must be gay or something," and just because you care about people, you're not afraid to show that you care about people. I'm not talking about sexual desire. I'm talking about caring. And so then I've had, well, women also have treated me worse than a lot of guys, because when the truth is women are afraid of a man that really cares. They're afraid of it. They're afraid of it. They said they want it, but actually they're scared of it. They're terrified of it. And because they're so used to people, they think everything's an ulterior motive, but they meet somebody that really cares about their welfare, and not requiring, they're not requiring or demanding sex, or whatever, and I'm not saying I don't have desire. I'm saying that when I care about somebody, they don't have to be giving me something physical. You know what I'm saying? If I care about them, I care about them, whether we're together or we're not. It doesn't matter, and you care about their well-being. And so you do whatever you can for for that person's well-being. And it's not limited by, are we dating, are we married, or you have to be in a relationship, stuff like that. So people laugh at that type of thing because they've been contaminated, and there are certain powers they'll never have access to because they've let this reality deceive them. But anyway, that's enough for right now. I've had a great time with my first video. I hope you enjoyed it too. Spread the word, click like and subscribe. You know, the least a person can do is click like and subscribe. And you'd be surprised a lot of people won't do that. BaastBook is a pay for platform, but you also help me. You help me and anyone if you click like and subscribe. So that gives you better ranking with the platform that I'm on. And it means also I don't have to spend as much money on advertising, because in order to advertise, marketing costs a lot of resources. And but the more people who like and subscribe, it's like free advertising. But YouTube's getting a reward for it too. They're getting views, and they're showing you ads and commercials and stuff like that. But it also helps me to get the word out, and to as many people as possible. And I want, if you hear it in your soul, it's calling you, you'll know it. And if it's not calling you, then I wish you the best. Please don't be on my page with all that negativity and stuff like that, and trying to debate and argue. It's a waste of time. Find something better to do. Go read an article about how to improve your health or make some extra money or something. You'd be better off doing that, instead of hating. I grew up around crabs. They're they're a destructive force. They think their purpose in life, they think they're accomplishing something by hating and blocking other people's progress. But anyway, enough about that. All right, take care. I love you all. And like and subscribe, and comment, you know, comment, and let's do this. Let's do this. Let's become a people capable of creating a society like Wakanda. We can create one better than Wakanda. And it's, how do you know that? It's something that you have to feel in your heart. You feel it. You know it's there. See, that's the power of the dark feminine. You can know something's there, even though your senses don't show it to you. You know it's there. Something is there. So okay. All right, take it easy. We'll talk later. Bye-bye.